Wednesday, May 17th, 2017, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So this is an early market update, but quite a market so far this morning. I woke up a little earlier and I looked in my phone and I was surprised to see the Dow down 125 points, the Dow future. Right now it's 8:20 London time, or 3:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And yeah, the Dow is down 122 points at 20,855. The low has been 20,817, so it's been down more than 150. S&P 2385, down 15 points. So still unable to stay consistently above that 2,400 level. So both are down about 2/3%, which, you know, with my experience of over 20 years in the markets, 2/3% is not a, you know, it's a big move, but it's nothing surprising. But what we've had in the last 7-8 months in the markets, this is quite surprising that the markets are down so much. Gold has done well. We got up to a high of 1245 overnight and this morning here in London. Right now we're at 1242.50, up about $6. Silver is at 1686, actually only up 1 cent. And because it did quite well yesterday late in the day, it traded above that 1680 level. The high's been 1695.5. Currencies, that's where it gets interesting. The dollar yen, which is something I've spoken about a lot. The dollar's dropped 2/3% against the yen. It's at 112.40, so down about 69 pips. If you've listened to my videos in the last few weeks, I've talked about how when the dollar rallies against the yen, that's you know, a negative for gold and the positive for riskier assets, because it means you can borrow in yen and that loan gets cheaper because the yen drops. But when it turns around, you know, and when the yen starts strengthening like it's doing now, it puts a lot of pressure on riskier assets and it helps safe haven assets like gold. And since April 17th, the dollar had rallied from around 108 to 114 against the yen, and that's why we saw that correction in gold. And now it seems to, you know, the recent high is 114, as I said, and now it's turning around and is at 112.40. We have to keep an eye on the dollar yen. Euro pretty much unchanged, but still fairly strong, almost at 111 against the dollar. The pound is virtually unchanged, so we're seeing the dollar weaken on the back of the yen here. What else? Treasuries are higher this morning, 1/3% in terms of price. Let's check the yield on the 10-year treasury, because that's also important aside from the price. Well, we're breaking through that 2.3 yield on the 10-year note. So that's positive for treasury or bond prices. And what's changed? Why we're down so much? Well, there's a lot of talk, you know, about politics here. Especially the big story is a New York Times story, which you know, says that Comey, ex-FBI director, leaked a memo to the New York Times in which he said that President Trump asked Comey of the FBI to drop the investigation of Flynn, who had to resign, I think, a few months ago. That's what Zero Hedge says. It says Comey's revenge, leaks memo to New York Times saying Trump asked him to end Flynn investigation. Bloomberg says Trump said to ask Comey to drop FBI investigation of Flynn. So there's a lot of talk now, especially on the Democratic side in Congress, Senate, in the House, Senate, Congress, that President Trump should be impeached for perverting the course of justice. But I think it's still early days. We need to, this is the New York Times, they are fake news. But if it is proven that there was a memo from Trump, we need to keep a close eye on that. And that's where it seems to be coming, all this uncertainty that President Trump might be impeached. That would be very early, wouldn't it? I don't know what to say about that. Markets are always trying to find reasons for movements. I would say, the credit cycle is getting long in the tooth already, and markets, turn when they have to. If it hadn't been this story about Trump and the memo to the FBI, or Comey's memo at the FBI, in which he says that Trump asked him to stop an investigation, it could have been something else. What about the cryptocurrencies? Well, Bitcoin is up 3%. So in the last 24 hours, the low in the last 24 hours has been 1723. We're now almost back to 1800 at 1794. Ripple up 19.4%. This is according to WorldCoin Index, worldcoinindex.com. Ripple at 0.414, up 19%. So doing quite well. LITECOIN down 1% at 2367, not doing that well. Ethereum 8790. What else have we got here? Let's have a look at Dash. That's 8267, up 3.6. Steam, which is something we're closely following now, and with Steam Steam dollars and Steam doing well. Steam up 4% at 0.83. So the big news is, of course, it's the Trump story and the supposed Comey leak of a memo that he has. But for me is the fact that actually overnight the Dow is down 126 points at the moment. This is something that hasn't been seen for a while. Is this the beginning of, a big correction in the markets? I don't know. I mean, you read all the stories on Bloomberg, Zero Hedge. It's not only alternative people saying that the market's overdone or overvalued, that it doesn't, reflect the weakness of the macro data. It's also JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, all the big hedge fund gurus, like Ray Dalio, who else? Stan Druckenmiller. All these people have been saying that the market is overvalued and they expect a correction. So is this a beginning? I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it. We could open later on today in New York, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and the Dow could be unchanged. Who knows? Or it could be down 200. As I speak here now, we're down 126. S&P is down over 15 points, and gold is at 1243. Keep an eye on that 1250 level. I think that's the key resistance. And keep an eye on dollar yen as well. Right now, dollar yen 112.38, down 73 pips. The low has been 112.25. If dollar drops below 112 against the yen, that means the yen is strengthening. That's a bad sign for the stock market, good sign for gold. So if you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it far and wide. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. There's a donation box, in the description with where you can donate to the channel as well. And if you'd like to also keep listen to my videos on steemit.com. I'll speak to you later. Bye.